right, what is up, guys? So this is the follow-up video for John. He's a member in our community, and he passed the first stage of the MyForexFunds challenge. I guess the challenge account. I don't know exactly what they call it. I personally don't use funding, but he ended up passing the verification phase. And here today, we're going to be talking a little bit about how he did it and what he plans on doing with his capital and how he plans on trading it, because a large majority of funded traders or people who become funded actually end up losing it once they have the money, because psychologically it's difficult to go from trading demo and knowing that it's demo to trading, the real funds and actually being put on the spot kind of to trade. It's completely different than trading the demo to get the verification, and you're not trading small accounts. Most people who do funding don't have enough capital or just want more. So instead of trading a couple $1,000s, they end up trading hundreds of thousands, and that's a really big psychological hurdle. So anyway, like I said, he ended up passing the verification phase. He now is a funded trader, and we're going to have him talk about what it was like and how he plans on managing his risk so he can make sure he keeps that account. So I'm going to give it over to him, and he can start talking about everything that we just mentioned. So John, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Jimmy. So yeah, officially passed, I guess not officially, the verification stage. With MyForexFunds, you do have to meet a minimum trading days. They just changed that, however, to 5 minimum trading days instead of 10, which is nice, but I guess I got in just a little bit too early before they made that switch, which is all good. So I'll officially have the funding by the end of next week. So this week I will just be trading demo. I don't plan on changing anything in my strategy or anything in my day-to-day life, because I really think that that's 90% of trading is trying to incorporate it into your life. A lot of people work at 9 to 5. They can't be in front of the charts all day. Me personally, I work right now. I actually do Uber, DoorDash. I do that kind of work, which is just grind work for minimal pay. And this funding is basically going to be my transition to financial freedom, basically, hopefully. I plan on, now my risk strategy is going to be a little different with this account. I'm going to go into that in a minute, but yeah, basically I plan on using this account to fund other accounts in my trading journey. And I plan on using it to live my everyday life. Simply, that's pretty much it as far as what I plan on using the account for. The risk strategy, I think I'm going to take a little different approach than when I was actually trading in the challenge. I'm going to stick to my same rules as far as not trading more than twice a day. If I take 2 trades and I lose both trades, I'm done for the day. I walk away from the charts. I reevaluate everything and I come back tomorrow. That's something that actually I've learned taking this challenge. Is I've taken 5 of them between FTMO and MyForexFunds. I've taken 5 total challenges and finally passed on my last one. And every single challenge I took, it all boiled down to either not being able to manage risk or trying too hard way too late in the process, and taking some gambling type style trades that don't work out and you end up blowing the account and losing the challenge overall. So the only thing I plan on doing differently, other than not trading more than twice a day, would be the risk size that I take. I plan on only using 0.5% risk on every trade I take. So that'll give me a lot more breathing room when it comes to how many trades I can lose before I'm officially defunded. With MyForexFunds, they do have a pretty generous drawdown, I guess,
Yeah, it's like a threshold.
threshold. Yeah, drawdown threshold. Thank you. Um, at 12% overall, 5% daily. So if I'm no more, if I don't trade, if I trade no more than twice a day and I lose 2 trades, I will only lose 1%. So I'll stay within the daily drawdown limit, and it will take me 24 trades, which would be 12 days straight of losing. If I trade 12 days in a row losing, which rarely happens. So I don't plan on losing the account. I think I'm going to do just fine with it. I think the monthly goal is anywhere between 10 to 30%. And that's pretty much it. I think I covered everything. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's the important thing is you can't change your strategy and you can't change your rules. Like how if you lose more than 2 times in a day, you call it quits, right? That's really important because if you try to adjust your rules or start changing your rules because you're funded now, things are going to go south really bad. And it's just something like people get scared when it's in trading or whatever, but that's like a life rule. Like if you're doing something that's working and has gotten you, you know, into the position you're, it's gotten you to where you're at, or you're in the position you're in because of it, why would you change it? And it's especially important with trading because it's all statistics and numbers. And when you start doing things based off of kind of how you feel or what you want to do, that's not beneficial because that's not what's worked. And the numbers will bite you in the ass if you start changing things. So it's important to not change your strategy, but I mean, changing your risk is fine. Like, and this is for everybody. If you get funded, I would personally risk less on every trade because you have the psychological hurdle of trading live money. And the honest truth is it makes it more likely that you're going to lose. So you need to cut down your risk because you have a greater chance of losing now that you're funded. I think the statistic was 80% of people who become funded end up losing their accounts. So there's an 80% chance basically that you're going to end up losing, right? Now that's not to say that's not a favorable number. That's telling you that you have a 20% chance of keeping that money. But it's an easy fix if you remember to not change your rules, not change your strategy, and do everything that you've been doing. It's so important to be consistent. And that's something else that I talk about is consistency. Be consistent because motivation will only take you so far, right? You have to stick to it, just trading in general, and be dedicated because there will be times where you won't feel motivated. Like, John, how do you feel after you messed up on 4 challenges?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a big kick in the ass, I mean, it's because I've never traded my own money, really. I mean, I might have thrown $500 or $100 into an account and tried to trade it before, but I never really traded live money. I've always demo traded, and my goal has always been to get funded. So it's like, you spend $500 on a course and then you spend another $300 on a challenge and it doesn't work. So you don't spend another $700 on another course and then another $500 on another challenge with a bigger account size. And it's repetitive. And I mean, to me, I treated it like a hobby. I was like, you know what, this is just my expensive hobby that I like to do. It's eventually going to make me money. And here I am, I'm funded. I have 200K that I can use to live my life with and enjoy the things that I want to enjoy, which will be great. One of the key things that you just said was keeping that I kind of want to highlight is keeping your risk the same. Yeah, 0.5%, a full percent, 0.75, 0.2, 0.1, whatever risk appetite you're taking on your trading, you should never differentiate that. I think that's something that I want to highlight real quick, is that if you're going into an account and you're saying I want to take 1% risk every single trade, it's very, very key that you take 1% risk every single trade, because the minute that you take that, because take 10 trades and let's say you lose 9 of them, but on the last one you weren't really sure about, you only risked a 0.5%, but it actually played out to what you wanted it to be. All right, and you made a 1 to 5 on that. Well, 1 to 5 equates to a 1 to 2.5 if you're risking a 0.5%, and you just lost 9 trades, so you're down 7.5% when you could be up, or you could be down only 4%. If you made that 1 to 5 and then you minus 9, you'd be down 4% only. So makes a huge difference, I think. And that's a mistake that I've made is, there's been times where I would say, I'm only going to take either a 0.5% or a full percent risk on a trade. And if there's something that I see like a reversal or something, I'm trying to play a reversal, so I'm only going to play half risk. I don't like that idea, because it makes me feel like I'm going to lose the trade anyways. I'm going to lose a 0.5%. I'm just going to lose. So that's one thing that I'm going to be very strict about, is I'm going to keep it to a 0.5%. I'm not going to differentiate that. I'm not going to up it on certain trades. I'm not going to reduce it on certain trades. It's going to be 0.5% each and every time.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to talk about that. So the whole 0.5% thing, when you say that you're going to take a 0.5% on, or a 0.5% position, it's like, well, I'm not too sure on this. Like, unless you're taking a 0.5% because you've had a good week and you don't want to be too greedy, don't change it. Because first of all, if you're thinking that, it's probably not the best trade in the world. Second of all, if it does win, like you said, you're literally going to make half of what you would have made if you had just risked the full amount. Like if you cut your percentage in half, that you're going to be hurting bad when the trade hits TP, because it's a huge psychological thing. And that's why psychology is so important. Whenever it hits, you're going to say, damn, I should have taken the full position. Right. And it's hard to not really, it's not one of the things where you shouldn't beat yourself up. You should beat yourself up over that, because it's inconsistency and you can't be inconsistent. Like little things, you miss an entry, right? What can you do about that? You can't really do anything about that. You had your trade lined up and it didn't hit. You move on. But with things like, cutting your risk in half, yeah, you should be mad and you should be on yourself about that, I guess, because it's just inconsistency. Like if you're going to risk X% every trade, risk X% on every trade. Don't risk X over 2% or X over 3, depending on how you feel about it. You don't want to have your feelings come in. That's not what trading is about. And with using a funded account, what I recommend as well is 0.5% risk 0.5%. Or if you're risking or were risking 2% when you were trading before, risk 1% now. Take it and cut it in half, because you're on a funded account and you're going to have so much more capital. You don't need to be making all that money, right? You don't need to make 20% on a $200,000 account. You're going to be making with, the payout, you're going to be making like upwards of 30 grand. Do you need 30 grand a month? No. Is it cool? And is it possible? Yeah. But is it worth potentially losing your account over? No. Cut it in half and you're still going to make 15K, which is still really, really good. Right. So it's just about being smart with it. And that's the whole point of posting this for you guys. I mean, I've had a funded account too, and I don't use it anymore because I have my own capital and I don't have to give a payout to anybody. So, but the thing is I was consistent. Like I took trades on the same risk every time. I followed my rules every time. I didn't change what I was doing. I didn't, go based off my feelings. I went off of what I was looking at. And that's what will keep you in it for the long run. It's really important that you don't deviate from what you're doing. And the reason people lose their funded accounts is because they deviate from what they're doing, right? Obviously, if the markets change, yes, but not if they always change. But if you pass the challenge and the verification, you pass it. There's nothing else to it. You obviously know what you're doing. The only thing that changes it or your results is your psychology or your mindset. And that's where a lot of people have it very wrong. They will lose because they're inconsistent with what they're doing. So I know that was a little bit of a rant, but it's important to stay consistent. And when people like professional traders say it's 80% psychology, 20% the method, that's so true. I can't stress that enough. I was an idiot when I started, and I thought if I just have a really good strategy, then I don't need to win that often. If I have a good strategy, I don't really need to, control my risk because I'll win that much. I promise if you do that, you're just going to screw yourself over. So it's important to stick with it and to be very consistent. And I encourage you guys to get funded accounts if you want them. Obviously, that's what John did, and he's very happy, and it's going to go really well for him. But when you do it, be smart. That's my advice. Just be smart. Don't be an idiot. I really don't have anything else to say. That was a big discussion, but I could honestly talk about it for a long time because I know what it's like to go through funding, and it is really hard. So props to John for getting funded and for passing both stages of it. I'm really happy for him, and he's been using all the material in our groups. He's been messaging me consistently, and I promise again that consistency pays off in this industry. Motivation can only take you so far. It will eventually, once you get kicked in the ass enough times, as John, how hard was it after you failed the last challenge? Not this one, but the one before. Like, what was going through your head?
Oh, the last one was like a heartbreak story. I mean, I cleared the profit target for my Forex. It was another MyForexFunds challenge. It was for 50K, and profit target's the same, still 8%. And I got it to 7.1 or 2, maybe 3, in balance. I mean, I was literally that close to. I just needed one. I literally just needed to take a small risk on a good trade, and that was it, right? Completely messed up. I got scared of the time limit. I basically had an extension on the account. That's one thing about MyForexFunds is if you're in profit by the 30-day mark, they'll give you either an extension or they'll let you retake it, whatever one you want to do. I think I was like 4 or 5% in profit by that 30-day mark, and I was coming up on the end of my extension. And then there's news on euro one morning or on the dollar, and I was convincing myself I was directionally biased. I was convinced it was a sell. I don't even remember what it was. I was convinced it was a sell, or I was convinced it was a buy. I mean, I was taking like 50 lots out with no stop loss, just trying to get something to go, and literally blew the account. I don't have it up right now. I wish I did, but I'd show you. But I mean, literally, the line on the graph literally goes like this and just slams right at the end. So this is not what to do. So I don't recommend doing what I did, which was double down and basically take out a $200,000 challenge. which is what I did. And I basically said, this time I'm sticking to my rules. I'm sticking to everything. I'm not messing this up. And here we are today. One of the key things that I think, we can also take away from this video is that I think a lot of traders need to take a look at their statistics, look at, what your win rate is. Look at what your highest losing streak is. And really those two key things will really determine how much you should be risking per trade on your account. Because if you think about it, if you're a trader that has a strike rate of 50% and your average risk to reward is at least 1 to 4, let's say, well then you can risk 1% per trade, and you'll probably be fine. You're winning half the time, and you're winning 4 times what you're losing. So you'll probably be fine. Or you get a trader where sometimes they get into like a 30 trade losing streak. Well, if you risk 1% per trade and you get into a 30% drawdown, you're going to lose a funded account if that's the way you want to go. Now, if you're trading your own money like Jimmy does, and you're okay with 20, 30, 40% drawdown, for a losing, like, if you risk 2% per trade and you lose 10 trades in a row, that's 20%. You lose 20 trades in a row, that's 40%. So if you're okay with that on your own personal account, then yeah, go for it and make those huge gains. But I think traders should, look at their statistics, and that's how they should try to determine their risk. That's one thing I'm trying to learn how to do is look at my statistics, learn, how often I trade, how what's my highest losing streak, what's my worst week, what's my best week, all that good stuff. So Jim, thanks again for having me on this video. If anyone has questions, they can plug me on Instagram, J_SmittyFX. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, so, and yeah, no problem for having you on. Thank you for getting on. And for all you guys, if you guys stuck around to the end, share this, like it, subscribe. We make these videos for you guys, and I also wanted to make this to highlight the fact that John ended up getting the account. It's a really big deal. It makes me really happy to see that people are using what we're teaching to actually change their lives. So it's really awesome. I'm happy for you, and keep everything up. You've been asking questions every day for a while now, and that's really good. That's how I learned. So for everybody watching, don't be afraid to reach out, ask questions. That's the only way you learn. So that's going to be it for this video, and we will be posting again this week. But congratulate John if you find his Instagram or in the comment section, and we'll speak to you all later, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this.